So guys, it's David here. So a few days ago, after I completed my React Native course, or at least halfway, I got a little bit complacent. I went to the store, I bought some food, which I don't normally eat. I went out of my diet to, in a ways, congratulate myself for sitting through this course, for learning a new skill. Now, after that, I decided to start making my application to finally use everything I have learned and to turn my vision and my idea into something real. And I was excited, I truly was. But for whatever odd reason, I had this sense of fear just rushing over me the next day. I had fear, I had doubt, I was insecure because when I thought about my idea, it became vague. It no longer felt like the passion or exactly that flame I had when I first thought of it a few months ago. And the fear got to me, the insecurity got to me, and I was procrastinating. And perhaps this is why yesterday I was feeling so down on myself and I didn't beat myself down because I was trying to ignore my project, to ignore and procrastinate me starting it because I was afraid and I allowed my feelings to control me. So, for the past few days, I have been feeling down in the way that I am avoiding myself. I feel like as if I had learned React Native for nothing because here I am drowning in my own fear and insecurities, doubting myself if I have the abilities to create this app. And I was scared. And because of this, I was feeling down because it reminded me of my past self. It reminded me of me when I avoided fear, when I did everything to avoid discomfort, when I did everything to be in doubt of myself. So the past few days has not been easy. And I guess because I was paying so much attention about my fears and doubts that I never managed to pull myself back out in the past 2 days or so. It was not until today, after reading a little bit more Becoming Supernatural, this book, amazing book by the way, guys, second time reading it. And I'm reading this because I am afraid again. And after reading this book, a quote in there really touched me. Right? It says that you have to think beyond your current feeling to make lasting change. And this really clicked to me. I'm like, like this is where the moment came in. Because I am not thinking beyond my current feeling. I am thinking of my current feeling and I'm allowing that to control myself. Because there will be times where you are going to be afraid, right? There will be times where everything is just falling apart around you and you want to cry. You want to crawl behind someone and you want to find that warmth and shield you from all this pain you are enduring and experiencing. You want to find something to hide away. And in those moments, your feeling is telling you to do that exactly. And I didn't think beyond my current feeling. And therefore, I was pretty much just being defeated by my emotions. And to think beyond your current feeling means to understand that everything will be okay despite you not feeling the best now. Is to accept and let go that, yes, maybe my current situation is not the best. Yes, maybe for me, that I don't know exactly how I am going to make my application despite me learning React Native. And perhaps I am not the best coder, perhaps even the worst. Despite that, I will still be okay. And you have to think like that. You know, even when you are feeling all the worst possible emotions you could be experiencing, you have to think positive. And this is where it becomes tricky because, in a way, we are prone to act on our feelings. That when we are scared, we're gonna reserve ourselves, that when we doubt, we are going to, well, not do anything right. And it is easy in the sense that we will hide away when uncomfortable feelings starts to flood us. But you have to think beyond your feeling now to try something different. You have to think beyond your current feeling to do something different. And literally, I was still doubting myself till this point before I started reading this book because I didn't know how to get out of it. Right? I was literally just being flooded by my fear, by my own fear of trying to make this application. And even though I did make the starting points of creating my application this morning, it was just that even after that, the fear still came to me. Right? There was still doubt, and there was still really negative beliefs on whether I could really do what I want to do. There was still doubt. And I guess sometimes you just kind of forget that you will still be afraid even though you have done all the right things, and that your emotions is something that is not controllable and is also kind of unpredictable. And you just have to be thinking above yourself sometimes. You have to just not be so controlled by it. And I guess this is something that I had learned today. And it really made me just be more happy, right? Be a little bit more positive than I was before, right? It made me manage to reduce whatever this perhaps feeling of stress and fear inside of me internally. And I managed to just subdue this a little bit because I understood that everything will be okay. Everything will be okay, because if things are not okay, then I can do something about that. But what I am doing now is that I am playing into my fears, and that is only going to feed my negative emotions. And by doing that, I'll only feel depressed, I'll only feel sad, and most likely I won't move forward with my project because I'll be too bitchy about it and I'll probably back out on it. So sometimes we just have to think above our current feelings to make long-lasting change. Quoting Dr. Joe. Wonderfully said, and that really is all I want to talk about today, guys. So if you're feeling down, if you're doubting on yourself, perhaps you're insecure with whether you are worthy or not to do whatever you want to do, just understand that emotion is a very subtle and devilish thing that we have. And to really overcome it is to understand that whatever you're going through right now is going to be fine. But it won't be fine if you play into those feelings. It won't be fine if you don't get up from your own sorrow or perhaps sadism. You have to think beyond yourself. And even if that means to fool yourself in a way, to try to delude yourself, or perhaps even deceive yourself, a better word to say, to think better about what is going on around you, then why not? Right? Why not? Because to feel sad is really not going to do you any good unless you can somehow use that anger or perhaps something, right? That negative emotion to turn it into motivation. But I do believe if you do have some anger inside of you, a sense of vengeance, then maybe you can use that as motivation. But if you're just depressed and sad, I really don't know how you could use that as a source of power to really try something new, because you probably will be just sitting there or laying there just playing these depressing thoughts in your head, and you probably just won't get anything done because you just drain yourself of that. But that's really all I want to say today, guys. And I hope you guys had learned something from this. But if not, like always, I'll be here for you guys tomorrow. But I am going to change the way I make videos on this point forward, because I am getting tired of making the same type of video. I think what I am going to do is just take you guys with me, take this camera off this freaking stand and record more often throughout the day, instead of just trying to feel and squeeze all my thoughts in this short little time frame. where I try to force myself to feed everything in. And I think that is exactly my problem, is that nothing makes sense because I'm trying to squeeze everything in into one clip. And that becomes very, well, tiring because at the end of the day, like I do forget what happens throughout my day, and to talk about everything in a 10-minute clip just doesn't really make sense. So, yeah, be excited because tomorrow is going to be something different. And I know for sure that I will at least have fun recording videos. So, I'll see you guys then. Good night.